stands. Heed my command and reclaim these relics of hatred!
There's a lot happening with the X-Men in the MCU, but one standout character is Storm. Earlier this month, Kevin Feige mentioned that the X-Men will play a significant role in the MCU's future following Secret Wars. And really, what are the X-Men without some storm clouds? Or, without one of their main leaders, Storm herself? Storm is set to officially join the MCU in What If Season 3, but this Mjolnir-wielding version will draw inspiration from some lesser-known Marvel comic stories. However, that might not be the case for her live-action debut in the MCU, which could potentially happen in a solo movie after Avengers: Secret Wars. While the X-Men movie reboot is still in development, Marvel Cinematic Universe is already gearing up to introduce mutants sooner rather than later. With the MCU integrating various X-Men actors from the Fox Marvel era, it's paving the way for Marvel Studios' upcoming take on these iconic characters. Although updates about the reboot have been scarce, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige recently hinted at some major developments coming in Phases 5 and 6. During the Disney APAC Content Showcase in Singapore, Feige made a virtual appearance to tease what's next for the MCU, including the X-Men. While he didn't spill any specific details about the reboot, Feige hinted that fans might see some familiar mutant faces before the end of the multiverse saga. He shared that this will set the stage for the Age of Mutants, saying, "I think you will see that continue in our next few movies with some X-Men players that you might recognize." Right after that, the whole story of Secret Wars really leads us into a new Age of Mutants and of the X-Men. Again, it's one of those dreams come true. We finally have the X-Men back. It sounds like exciting times are ahead for X-Men fans as the MCU prepares to usher in a new era for these beloved characters. Kevin Feige's recent comments about the X-Men provide exciting hints about the future of mutants in the MCU, especially regarding Storm's introduction and potential solo projects after Avengers: Secret Wars. Throughout the multiverse saga, Marvel has steadily teased the concept of mutants without delving into the traditional X-Men team. Characters like Ms. Marvel and Namor have already been identified as mutants, signaling that the MCU is laying the groundwork for the arrival of the iconic team. Feige's acknowledgement that the X-Men will be crucial post-Avengers: Secret Wars is significant, but his recent statement about fans experiencing some X-Men characters during Phase 6 is even more intriguing. It suggests Marvel Studios is carefully timing their introduction to maximize their impact on the larger MCU narrative. One standout detail is the inclusion of Storm in What If Season 3. Although it's an animated series, it marks her official debut within the interconnected MCU franchise. This could act as a precursor to her eventual live-action introduction. With only a limited number of projects slated for Phase 6, there are specific opportunities where X-Men characters like Storm could make their live-action debuts. These introductions could come in the form of Fox Marvel actors reprising their roles or entirely new portrayals by actors selected for the MCU's X-Men reboot. Feige's plan to have Avengers: Secret Wars serve as the gateway to the Age of Mutants in Phase 7 and beyond feels deliberate. With the rumored soft reboot of the MCU tied to the final Phase 6 film, this could provide the perfect setup for mutants to take center stage in the next chapter of Marvel's cinematic universe. Storm, in particular, has enormous potential to become one of the leading figures in the MCU. Whether in a solo project or as part of a larger X-Men storyline, her dual role as a mutant and a goddess, often wielding Mjolnir in some comic adaptations, offers endless narrative possibilities. Her presence could bridge themes of identity, leadership, and diversity, making her a pivotal character for the next generation of MCU storytelling. Fans are now eagerly awaiting more details about the X-Men reboot, including casting announcements and the creative team behind it. Feige's comments have set high expectations, and it'll be fascinating to see how Marvel Studios plans to redefine these beloved characters for a new era. Halle Berry's Storm could make a comeback in the MCU, especially now that Deadpool and Wolverine has revisited Earth 10,005, home to the 20th Century Fox X-Men. Halle first brought Storm to life in 2000's X-Men. While we can all agree Fox's X-Men franchise didn't fully do her justice, Halle made the most of the role. After X-Men Days of Future Past in 2014, it seemed her time as Storm had ended when the franchise shifted to a younger cast, with Alexander Shipp taking over. Then, Disney bought Fox in 2019, signaling a potential fresh start for the X-Men in the MCU. But here's the twist. There's still a chance for Hallie to return before the multiverse saga wraps up. Deadpool and Wolverine open the door to Earth 10,005, and we've already seen familiar characters like Deadpool, Colossus, and X-23 make their return. With that universe surviving Cassandra Nova's attack, there's room for even more characters to reappear, including Storm. On the flip side, Hallie never really got the chance to showcase all of Storm's incredible powers, so it would be amazing to see her come back. The multiverse saga offers plenty of opportunities. One option could be revisiting Earth 10,005 in a future MCU project, where we might see Hallie alongside Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, Patrick Stewart's Professor X, and other fan favorites. But there are other exciting possibilities too. Earth 838, introduced in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, already hinted at a version of the X-Men. Hallie's Storm could show up there, maybe seeking revenge for Professor X's death. And with the Marvels ending on a note that connects Monica Rambeau to an alternate universe filled with X-Men, we could see Storm pop up in that storyline as well. Kelsey Grammer's Beast already returned, so why not Hallie's Storm? Even in Deadpool and Wolverine, Wolverine reminisced about his old X-Men team, leaving the door open for a flashback or even a full-blown return. Imagine Hallie portraying a variant of Storm from a wild alternate universe like the worst Wolverine timeline. Loki's multiverse antics have already shown us that anything is possible. Before the MCU officially recasts Storm for its X-Men reboot, it would be incredible to see Hallie don the white hair one last time. She brought so much talent to the role back in 2000 and deserves the chance to fully unleash Storm's goddess-like powers in live action. As for who could take over the mantle in the reboot, fan favorites include Janelle Monáe, Anna Diop, DeWanda Wise, and Naomi Harris. Storm is one of the most important characters in Marvel history, the first major female character of African descent in American comics. While the animated X-Men '97 has nailed her magic, live action hasn't quite caught up yet. Hallie came close in Days of Future Past, and a final outing could let her elevate Storm to the goddess-level icon she's meant to be. With Deadpool and Wolverine being a massive success, sequels like Deadpool 4 or Deadpool and Wolverine 2 could revisit Earth 10,005 and bring back the full X-Men team in a fun and epic way. And with upcoming multiverse-heavy films like Doctor Strange 3, Spider-Man 4, and the Fantastic Four First Steps, there's a good chance we'll see more versions of the X-Men, including Halle Berry's Storm, making their way back to the big screen. And introducing Storm as the Goddess of Thunder in What If Season 3 could give us a cool twist, where she's a secret sibling of Thor, Loki, and Hela. What If is known for playing around with alternate versions of characters, so it wouldn't be out of the question for them to explore this new family dynamic. While this would be a fun addition to the show, it's more likely that Storm's live-action backstory in the MCU will stay closer to her comic roots. In the comics, Storm is the daughter of a Kenyan princess and an American photojournalist, and she's part of an ancient line of African priestesses with white hair, blue eyes, and magical powers. She grew up between New York and Cairo and has a deep connection with T'Challa, the future Black Panther, from childhood. This origin was never fully explored in Fox's X-Men films, and while What If Season 3 might take some creative liberties, it's expected that the MCU will eventually dive into her more classic backstory in the upcoming X-Men films. And that's that for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Please like, share, and comment below.